Welcome to episode.
You just blew out that freaking Audacity. It's okay.
It looks like
Were you too loud?
a little bit.
Okay.
All right. Welcome to. Oh God, what is going on? Oh, can you hit my gain? Oh, my gain is all the way up.
Yeah.
Hello. Hopefully that's a little bit better for everybody. YouTube did not want to let us go live for some reason, but we are live now. Welcome to Planet Film Live, episode 72. I'm one of your hosts, Sean Monk.
I'm your other host, TJ Cornwell, and today, as you can tell, we will be talking about the Book of Boba Fett, episode 6. We'll be discussing if it is indeed still Boba Fett's book, which I think at least one of us, or both of us, have different opinions. We might have
to be making a return to the library.
Yeah. So yeah, welcome to episode, what was it, 73?
72.
72. Sorry about our little audio issue there for a moment. Yeah, I'm waiting for this, real quick, just a little local talk. I'm waiting for this winter storm to hit. It says 10 p.m. Eastern to 10 a.m. Friday. Do you know, is this supposed to be worse than what we got, what was it, 2 weeks ago?
I think it's supposed to be like the same.
The same?
Yeah, like I think it's supposed to, because it's supposed to snow for around the same amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if we're gonna get the same like inches. You know what I mean?
Inches, yeah. It said, I think this weather report says 7 to 13.
Okay. Yeah, I think the other one was like 20. So it might be less.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, hopefully, well, I mean, we should be done by the time that rolls around. But if we're not, hopefully I don't get snowed here or something like that. Okay, so do you have any things you want to talk about before we get into our regular? We're going to talk about Euphoria before Boba Fett. Boba Fett's kind of like the main topic, but we're going to talk about Euphoria, talk about Peacemaker, then we'll get into Boba Fett. But do you have any anything you want to bring up banter wise or anything, housekeeping, anything like that?
No, not that I can think of right now. Just stay following us. We got the 350 subscribers. We luckily have not lost any, but we have stayed at 350 subscribers. So we need to get a nice, I think what we need now, we need a nice trailer to drop. We did do the Halo trailer.
With Brandon.
Yeah, with Brandon. Not too many people tune in for that one, but you can't win them all. Yeah, so just, keep liking, commenting, and subscribing and sharing. Share the videos on, whatever socials you want to share them on. We're hoping to build, the community up and everything like that. So it's really everything for me, I guess. Do you want to talk about anything that you've watched?
No, not really. I watched, the only two movies I've watched in the past week are Scream 2 and 3. I watched them with my girlfriend Danielle. She wanted to watch all of them for like a little bit, and then the new one came out, so we'll get to 4 eventually, and then we'll probably just watch the newest one on demand or whenever it comes to streaming or whatever. Mm-hmm. Scream 2 was pretty good. I actually completely forgot everything Travis told us and when he was on, because he basically told us what happens in all the movies. 2 was pretty good. 3 wasn't great. It was a movie within a movie, where the second one also was that, but not as much. So I didn't like the third one as much for that aspect, and a few other things that, kind of strayed from what I thought made the first and second ones good. Mm-hmm. And then I watched episode 6 of Daredevil. They're really killing people off in that show. They just they last like 2 episodes. Who
died in episode 6?
The spoilers for Daredevil that came out however many years ago.
Shawshank Redemption.
What's his name? The Russian guy that he brings back to life. He like pounds his heart like 3 times.
Oh, right.
He's like,
yeah.
And then they go down in the sewer or whatever, and he's like, "Leave me, I'll hold them off."
Yeah.
And then he dies. I was like, wow, I thought he was going to be a guy for a long time,
Yeah.
and he's already dead. I thought the reporter was going to die too. I forget his name.
Ben?
Yeah.
Ben Urich?
Yeah. I thought he was going to die. They had the sniper
great
lined up on the building. I don't know if that cop died that he shot instead. They didn't really tie that up. They like said, go get an ambulance, but I don't know if he ever, made it. What else? That's all I've really watched. I started Dune on Tuesday or Monday. Started Dune on Tuesday. Or no, today's Wednesday. I started Dune on Monday night at like 9. But it's too long, so I didn't finish it. I'm like halfway through it. I think that's it. That's all I've watched, really.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't have any like housekeeping either. I don't have. Make sure you check out the clip outs though on the YouTube channel that Sean's been doing. But yeah, what do we want to? Okay, so what do we want to tackle first? We want to do Peacemaker or do we want to do Euphoria?
I guess we could do Peacemaker because I feel like Peacemaker's probably going to have the... Whereas last week, I feel like Peacemaker was probably the most to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
We have probably the least to talk about. Not that it was a bad episode at all. It was a great episode. Just, I feel like we have a lot more thoughts on Euphoria, probably.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah, let's start with some Peacemaker talk. For me, this was, I think, if you guys were watching the TikToks and stuff, I did my reviews of that. I think I gave it like a 4.5 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was still a really solid episode. Not as like amazing as last week's, or I guess 2 weeks ago. It's tough with the Peacemaker ones because they literally come out the day after we do the live show. So it's like difficult to kind of send your mind back and remember. But yeah, it was still very, very, very good. I really liked, a lot of the team aspect, the whole like 11th Street kids and stuff like that. They're all starting to bond and stuff, and that like John Economist is like on board, like him and Peacemaker are finally getting along now that he kind of like showed that he can kind of hold his own type of thing.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was really nice, and then of course I feel like we have to mention what's been going all around the internet, the improv scene of John Cena listing off all those names.
Oh, that was improv?
Yeah, that was like
I did not see that. I thought it was just like, I thought that was scripted. Yeah, obviously.
No.
Yeah. No?
Yeah, it was just off the top of his head. There's an uncut version of it all over the internet, but IGN actually did it where then they overlaid it with every name he said. They would put him on the screen. And so it would put like every single person on the screen, like a visual guide to it. And it was crazy. In the uncut one, he even says he's like Freddie Stroma, James Gunn, and Economist is like, those last two aren't even that. What are you talking about? Who even are those people? Like, it's so freaking funny. But like, yeah, it's a great episode. A lot of good action in it too. But yeah, just the team dynamic and the team building and stuff was really, really great in that episode. And then of course at the end, again, this is spoilers, but, we get the reveal to Adebayo that Myrn is not all that he seems.
Right.
Ooh. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I echo everything you said. I love the kind of team dynamic. I love like the whole group chat thing, taking the picture of them all in the truck together, and them kind of realizing that they're stronger like together, like they. And I want to say like Peacemaker and Adebayo, they are like friends. Like they're not like Economos and Peacemaker where they're kind of butting heads all the time. But yeah, I loved that like when they broke into like the factory and they're like, because I think they're talking to one of the fireflies, like the butterflies at one point, and they have them on the ground, And they're like, oh, they shouldn't go. Like, they just went in there. They're messing with, I forget what they call it.
They're in there with Charlie.
Yeah, and I was like, what is that going to be? And it's this big, like, gorilla.
Yeah.
Like, and then when he just, like, when Economos comes in with the chainsaw, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, and just, like, them barging in there, too. Like, I think at one point, like, they're just walking. And John Cena like sees something, and he just like shotguns it immediately.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, we're just busting it.
Yeah,
like
and
this.
I love she goes Adebayo's like, I thought that you were staying chill or whatever, and he's like, look at me, do I not look chill?
Right,
like he just like murdered like 8 people, but he's like, what are you talking about? I'm totally fine.
Right, yeah. And I think it was this episode too when he would like. He kills them, and then she shoots them, like, after they're already dead.
And he was like, you don't have to kill the people that I kill.
Yeah, and I just thought that was really funny. I'm really excited for the next episode, because as soon as she put that helmet on, and she said that, like, activate X-ray, I was like, oh, no, she's going to see it.
Yeah.
Like, she's in the wrong place at the wrong time. So I'm very interested, because nobody's, like, well, I mean, as far as we know right now, nobody's around. So, like, I don't know how she's going to, like, survive.
I think maybe she gets saved by Judo Master.
Oh,
he's there.
Yeah, that's a good
Still
point.
Hooked up. I mean, at least that's the last time we saw him.
Right.
So that's the only thing that I can think of.
Right.
At all. Otherwise, I have no idea. She might be a goner, or she might be turned into a butterfly or something like that. But yeah, I don't know how she's gonna get out of that.
What do we think? What do we think's happening with Robert Patrick's character? Because in this episode,
he took kind of more of a backseat.
Yeah, because in this episode he.
Oh, but no, the fingerprints was this episode.
Right.
Yeah, I forgot about that actually. I
forgot
that was this episode.
They realized that like the fingerprints are the same or aren't the same.
Yeah.
That it's actually Peacemaker and not his dad's.
But then Mern.
Calls that guy or whoever that guy is and goes to the place and he's like, no, like they're the same.
Yeah.
And I forget the FBI agent's name or whatever she is. She's like policeman FBI agent. I forget her character's name.
Sophie Song.
Is that it?
Yeah. It just came to me.
Oh, okay. And
I knew that he
so
calls her Detective Song, and I know her partner calls her Soph. So I was like,
okay.
I was like, it must be.
And she goes to the she goes to like the head of she goes to like the chief's like the previous chief before that guy kind of just like took his position. She goes to his house, and I think that's where we just leave them, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what's gonna happen with that. Maybe he's also a butterfly.
I don't know.
Because do you get the impression that this guy, like the guy that Myrna's talking to, that he's also a butterfly, or do you think that's just like
I see? That's what I don't know, because it's like when Mern is like acting like Mern, it's like we're like rooting for him, but then it's like he's trying to. I don't know. Like I want to root for like Detective Song for some reason. Even though she's trying to take down Peacemaker,
right?
Like you know what I mean? Like I'm like, no, she's right. Like
no,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
she is
the
right.
prints
yeah.
don't match. I'm like, you know what I mean? And I'm like infuriated. But then I'm like, but wait, her being right means that Chris has to go to prison,
right?
So I'm like, I don't know. It's probably just great writing on James Gunn's part that I'm like
Conflicted.
Rooting for the person that's trying to put Peacemaker behind bars, but I'm also like. But like she's just trying to do her job, and Vern's trying to keep her from doing her job. But also, in some scenes, we're rooting for Mern. So it's like, I don't know. Like, I'm thinking with that guy, I think he's probably just like an Amanda Waller, like Argus connection, probably. Like, just like some guy that they use or something.
Yeah.
Rather than like a butterfly. But I mean, we could be, I don't know. Everybody could be a fucking butterfly at this point. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, are we gonna like? I feel like maybe is there gonna be another like character that is a butterfly that we have just no idea?
Yeah.
Like other than Mern, like for all we know, it could be.
People were like saying it like Harcourt.
That's what I was. That's what I was gonna say. Like, could it be her? Maybe, or that'd be pretty wild.
And what do you think about the opening credit sequence? That the theory that if you look at the opening credit sequence, they're all dancing and they're all doing the dance and stuff. But all of them have like a blank expression. Yeah. So they were like, what if that takes place at the end of the season or something? Or it's showing that they're all gonna become butterflies
That'd be pretty wild.
because
we
they
don't,
all have that like.
That's the
blank
thing we haven't
expression.
seen though. Is like I think they've talked about it, but we don't see how a person becomes
A butterfly.
a butterfly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
We've seen a
something
butterfly
like-
leave them,
Right.
But we haven't seen
when they
like,
get
what
shot in
actually
the head and their
happens.
brains, their head smashed open. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's an interesting theory. I think there's been talk of a second season. I believe. I could be wrong.
Yeah, James Gunn said he was like, we just have to cross our T's and dot our I's.
Right. So
means.
I don't know if they're making
/
this
wait 3 years for the Guardians film
yeah.
to finish, but
It's just started too. I think right. Just started
Guardians?
filming.
Yeah, it's only
Yeah.
like a month into production.
Right. But I think, like, was this filmed as we're probably gonna get a second season, or was it filmed as like a small opening, like you could do a second season? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm betting that it was written as a self-contained 8-episode like piece.
Mm-hmm.
So, no pun intended. But yeah, I'm betting that it was written like that, and like you said, it'll probably be something that's like leaves a little bit of a tease of like, oh, but there could be more
Right.
type of thing. But yeah, I just want to point out, Michelle in the chat says, PFN Live brought to you by Timmy Hose.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
I am very intrigued though by Robert Patrick's character's kind of place in it, because I think they're from what you can tell by the show so far, they're gonna go like all into it.
Yeah.
They're gonna go all in with the white supremacist KKK thing.
Yeah.
And
James Gunn tweeted, he was like, you know, I was absolutely floored at how far Warner Brothers was willing to let me go. And people are like, freaking Soups was like, which we'll talk about another tweet of his, but he was like, oh my God, they're gonna go full crazy. I bet you we're gonna have like the Suicide Squad in the end, or like or somebody was like, they're gonna reveal that like a Justice League character, it was a butterfly or something. And I'm like, I don't think that's at all what he's talking about. I think he's saying he was surprised at how far they were able to take like the social stuff.
Yeah.
Like
they're going to get him
stuff.
in that suit. That suit is going to show up like with the person in it.
100%.
And it'll probably end up, having Chris having to make a choice. Like, is he going to, because, he I don't want to say he hates his dad, because maybe he does. But like he still has something in his heart where he's like, this is my dad, even though all that shit
like
he's put
he's
me
got
through.
complicated feelings, but at the end of the day, like he can't get over the like, but he's my dad.
And there's
part.
still thing with his brother that we're like still
that we don't know.
Was that was the last episode, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, and then this next episode is the one that we talked about last week. This is the Myrn one, the Myrn after reading. So it's probably
Oh right.
So we probably won't find out what happens to Adebayo until maybe the end or something. Because it sounds like it's going to be a flashback episode, like to get where Myrn is now.
Yeah.
But yeah, really great episode.
Yeah. Speaking of, long lost sons or brothers, let's talk about Euphoria. That was a very good segue.
That was good.
So Euphoria came out Sunday night.
First and foremost,
okay.
I gotta say, you were on it, man. You were on the money because.
Whoa! What did I say? Did I make a prediction?
Well, just so this is full Euphoria. I almost said this is full you spoiler.
Yeah.
This is full Euphoria spoilers. I looked up the thing when you were talking about it. I looked up the thing about the brother, and they said all I could find was the actor who plays Nate Jacobs was like
Jacob Elordi, I think it is.
Yeah, he was like as far as I'm aware, he was like that must have just been a production mistake.
What?
The picture, yeah.
Stop.
No, this was an interview. No, this was an interview like for last season.
Oh, okay.
So he was like, I'm not sure. He was like the only thing that we've done. He was like the only thing we've gone into is Aaron, like his other brother, like
barely.
Yeah, well, we know a little bit about what he's looking up.
Yeah.
But he was like, that's as far as I'm aware of that. So I thought that was just the end of it. I was like, oh, it was just like a production mistake or something.
Yeah.
Or they scrapped it. But now it's there and doubled down. which is the family portrait that has a younger sibling
Mm-hmm.
that clearly has not been shown, mentioned, but now I would say hinted at, because we're kind of diving into the murky past of the Jacobs family. So
Right.
I'll give that one to you.
Real quick, I just want to. So I saw this tweet on Twitter. Obviously, I saw this tweet. I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. I sent it to Danielle, and it's this person tweeted things in Euphoria still unaddressed. Okay, and it's this long list, and I just want to go through it real quick. So Lexi and Fez relationship, Nate and Jules relationship, Maddie has the tape. Jules straight up keeps cheating on Rue and getting away with it. McKay has vanished, which I don't think he's coming back. I think his character's just kind of done. Like, we're not going back to him at all. Nate's other brother, Kat and Ethan. I don't even know. Where the fuck is Gia? Who's Gia? Is Gia that one friend with the vape?
No, Gia's. Oh, Brianna Curo says in the chat, the sibling no longer exists.
I don't know what that means.
Can you elaborate on that? Oh, or are you just saying that you think that they're dead?
Well, you gotta say something.
Yeah.
They're making a point to show it in the picture.
Yeah.
That there is clearly another son.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us about it?
And I also feel like there has been
this is even the tip of the iceberg of the episode. We're talking about some minute thing that's been
a very minor thing, but what was I gonna say? Also, I feel like unaddressed. Like you notice it, especially after the flashbacks that we got to Cal as young.
Yeah.
But like Marcia, the mom,
yeah.
Something happened in that woman's life. Like, you know what I mean? She is very, like, down and, something happened that she feels like she has given up on.
Right.
You know what I mean? So maybe it was, like, the death of a child or something like that, you know? Because she feels very noticeably, like, different. But, yeah. He's dead AF.
Who's Gia?
It's Rue's sister.
Oh, crap.
My question, where is Rue's mother?
Yeah, we haven't seen her.
She literally, well, we saw her in episode 2 when Ali took her home. And she was like, oh, he's cute. And that was it. Mm-hmm. That was the only thing we saw.
Wait, who? Sorry, who were we talking about?
Ali,
Ali took
her
who?
sponsor.
No, I know. Took who home?
Rue home.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, yeah.
And her mom was like, oh, he's cute.
He's cute. Yeah.
But that was the last thing we saw.
Right.
I was talking to my roommate, Brianna, in the chat. I was talking to her. I was like, well, first of all, everything that was happening in this episode with her, being out late, being high on every drug known to man, and drinking, and getting, by the way, we'll talk about specifically, her saying to pull over and let me out, and them doing it.
Yeah.
What kind of a friend are you? She could have been instantly killed. Yeah. Like, if you're...
I am surprised that they let her out in the next scene. She was at home.
Yeah, no,
I thought it was going to be something more than that, but...
That, I think we'll circle back to that, because that, to me, is the writing for this season.
I didn't even finish the list, by the way.
No, I know. The writing for this season has just been... but her mom, she was out until like 2 a.m., she came in, she fell off her dresser into her room.
Yeah. I thought for sure her mom was going to be like, what the fuck?
Her mom would be, season 1, her mom would be blowing up her phone, sitting in her room, waiting for her to come home. What the fuck is going... Like, I just feel like Sam Levinson has just, like, forgotten half
and
of
I
the
don't
story.
know if this is us, like in this list. Like, I don't know if it's, like, us pointing out how many, like, different plots and subplots are going on. Yeah. Or if it's us saying, what are we, like... And I think we said it again, like, what are we going for, you know? Like, it's just...
What's the point of what we're watching?
Right, exactly. Sorry, the rest of the list goes, everyone ignoring...
Where's Danielle?
I think she's recording.
Oh, okay.
Everyone ignoring Lexi 24/7. Why?
Yes, exactly.
Faye, question mark. Ashtray got away with murder, I guess. Elliot ditching Rue on the side of the road. Maddie and the babysitting mom. Oh, yeah, that like weird like thing with her stealing or trying on the dress and stuff like that. Lexi's relationship with Rue and Rue still needs to sell those damn drugs. And I think she's made zero progress. That was courtesy of Z Swag with 3 Gs _ Dea on Twitter.
Thank you.
So thanks for making that list. But yeah, so let's get into let's talk more about this episode. My prediction after watching, I don't know if you watch like the sneaks previews of the next episodes. No. Okay, so maybe
I don't care. You can tell me,
so
yeah.
I think from what I could tell is she's gonna OD again. That's what
Rue?
I can tell. Yes.
I thought she died in this one.
I mean, I thought she died at the party in the first episode.
Yeah.
when she said, "You gotta keep track of my heartbeat,"
Yeah.
he was like, "What are you talking about?"
I thought like all the stuff with the church and stuff,
yeah, the
like,
whole
all
church.
that in
Yeah,
her head. I thought that was like she was dying. Like I thought we were watching her perspective.
Yeah.
Also, this is the most A24 episode that this has ever been.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of references to different movies. And
It made me watch Midsummer. I watched it for the
yeah, I
second
saw that
time
on
in
your
my life.
letterbox. Yeah. Man, there's so much like the whole like I don't even know like what to say. Like the love triangle of Rue and
Is it Caleb?
Caleb and Jules, yeah. Which is kind of odd. And then like is that his actual name, Caleb? Is that his character name?
It's either the character.
I just want to say it before know it before I say it multiple times. Elliot.
Is the actor's name Caleb?
No, Dominic Fike is the actor.
Then I got nothing.
Elliot and Jules are like making out, and then like Rue is standing there, and then they're like, "Oh, make each other jealous," and then they leave Rue at the side of the road, and then they're like, I assume they're probably gonna have sex in this next scene or something. I don't know, but like it's just like all like a lot.
Yeah, I
and
feel
I'm
like the end of the episode, they definitely either way, they're about to have sex. I feel like they also just did. I feel like they did, and they're going for round 2.
Maybe
because the way that Jules is sitting, like she seems just like so guilty.
Mm-hmm.
But then like the way that Elliot comes in the room, like he's like feel like they're about to go again.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I do remember actually. Luckily, I couldn't help myself, and I messaged Danielle to get her thoughts on it, like when I watched it. So I do have some of her thoughts.
Oh, okay.
She said, "I feel like so much happened and yet so little." Oh, this is true. I liked the Cassie and Nate scene. Because they're good scene partners, and it felt like the first time you really see them act. This episode was the only time I actually liked Nate and thought the other girls were crazier than him.
When they're in the hot tub and they're like attacking him and like nitpicking how he said like not
no.
yet or no or whatever, I was like, me and Danielle were like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm not like a fan of Nate because I think he's like a shitty person, and that whole thing where he like is screaming at Cassie and Cassie's about to leave. He goes, "Wait, I love you." It's like, what are you talking about? But like them like coming after him is like, why did you say it like that? You did say it kind of like, and it's like, hold on a minute. It's like the girl that's screaming at you is just as toxic as you. So like, I don't know if she has the right to really like come at you like that. So, because both of you are, if we're being honest, both of you are bad for each other. But yeah, sorry, continue what you were reading.
Yeah. Let me see here. So, she said also, Jules ain't it. She was jealous of the idea of Rue having a crush, yet full on cheats with her in the next room. And then also one of her theories has been, or I guess a popular theory online too, is the whole narration theory.
Right.
That Rue's narration is dependent on like her sobriety.
Mm-hmm.
She said also this is the first episode, which I didn't even realize, but it's true. This is the first episode without any of Rue's narration. And I think it's because it's the most fucked up we've seen her on drugs. Like it's maybe not the most fucked up she's been on drugs. But
yeah, because
most we've seen.
We weren't there when she OD'd.
When her original OD.
It was a flashback.
Yeah, exactly. Like that was like the catalyst for the show. Now we're actually seeing, her in the shit.
Oh my lord! What we didn't even talk. We haven't talked about like Cal yet and his whole like diatribe he went on.
For it.
When he got home and he went on this whole I don't know how he made it home. Is that like bulletproof character almost?
No, I know
he
that
should be dead if we're being completely honest.
So much. Oh, come on, dude, these freaking bots, man. I swear. There we go. Okay, so many things in this episode pissed me off so much because it's like, first of all, you set up. Yes, Elliot didn't do drug. Well, he didn't do that drug, but he was on drugs and drinking. The fucking idiots. First of all, worst convenience store theft I've ever seen on screen. Second of all, he was fucked up driving. Then you have Cal mega fucked up driving with a concussion, if not more, if not actual skull and brain damage. But you got him plus being completely past plastered, like just gone, just fucking going, 80 miles an hour. And they even
pass each other
directly past each other.
They
and
do,
it's like,
yeah.
And nothing comes of it. And they both get home. Like, it's the same thing with Rue. Like, let me out here. And then she gets let out on the side of the highway. And then the next scene, she's home.
Yeah.
What is that? How? What? You're telling me that this person can't even see her bedroom because she's so fucked up on drugs right now?
Rue, I can believe a little more. I can believe more than Cal.
Yeah. He didn't even get pulled over.
Yeah, no cop in sight, nothing.
Accident. Like,
he's driving on one of the roads too that has like a mountain cliff on the side of it. It looks like.
I thought we were gonna get a morning show.
Yeah, so did I.
That's
something
exactly
like that.
what I thought. What's it called? And then the other thing was, I just feel like the whole episode was so anticlimactic. Like,
what?
Oh my god, you hear it out there?
Yeah, it's just rain, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know what that was. It sounded like freaking a wind howling. What was I gonna say? I just felt like the whole episode was anticlimactic when he got back in the Jeep after getting kicked out of the bar. I thought he was gonna like drive into the bar or something. Or like,
so did I.
And then he just reverses and leaves, and he goes, "Fuck you." I was like, what am I watching this for? I was like, I thought something interesting. Not that the whole thing with, let's not get wrong. My opinion is, okay, Cal and Cassie were the only two interesting things happening in this freaking episode.
Yeah.
And even that, I thought that Cal was like, oh, this is about to get real interesting. Like, I thought he was about to just plow right into the building and, like, kill himself or something. Like, or just kill himself. He still might where he ended it, but because we don't know where he went, but none of that happened. And then we got the monologue, which good for, what's his name, Eric Dane, the actor, like, good for him. He gets a nice chewing dialogue scene. Like, it's terrible dialogue. Like, it's well written dialogue, but it's like heavy, terrible subject matter. But he does a great job acting it. But like, that's really the biggest moment that we get in the show, aside from maybe the hot tub.
Maybe when Cassie is throwing up in the hot tub, which that was pretty gross. It was
bloody.
Was it?
Yeah,
that's gross. I do feel I feel bad for her because she's obviously doing what she's doing, and she's like, she loves him, it seems like, but like, I don't think he loves her. Like, he just said that because I don't he's just manipulating her
at all. Yeah,
but I don't really get why she really loves him, because, and again, with oh my god, I'm so bad with names.
Maddie,
yeah, or no,
McKay, Cat,
no,
Lexi,
yeah,
okay.
Like, because
with the scene with them in bed where she's like, did you get skinny? And then she like goes off on her.
Yeah.
Because that pissed me off.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Like, I liked the way that was filmed with like the then cutting back to the play that she's working on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I liked that we got a little bit more of that. Like the way that was kind of diced up. That was pretty cool. But other than that, I was like, Cassie, that's your sister.
Mm-hmm.
She's the only person that is genuinely caring about you
Yeah.
going through this shit. Yeah, clearly your fucking mom doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Because she was standing right next to she was in the goddamn house when you were...
No, she was helping her. She was helping her.
After she threw up.
After she threw up, yeah.
The bitch was losing her goddamn mind in the
Well,
in
she's
the lounge
also
room.
an alcoholic, though, so it's like...
That's true. So she's not the best parent.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, man. There's too many, like, dead parents.
What is happening? What, if I recall, we only have, like, one quick scene with, like, Fez and, what's her name? And
Faye and Ashtray.
Ashtray, yeah. What is going on in that scene, if I recall?
Yeah, I don't
know if...
The guy comes in, and he says...
Because somebody at the door, right?
He says... Yeah, it's the guy that works with
the
drug dealer lady.
Right.
And he says, Nelson's baby mama came to town.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck.
What does that
means.
mean? Yeah.
I don't know anything about that. I said,
who's Nelson?
I don't know.
Because I said it to Danielle. I said, who's Nelson? Because
is
it the dead guy? That dead
you know what
drug
I think?
dealer?
I bet Mouse's real name is Nelson.
Okay, that's because I was like, we called him Mouse.
It's probably his baby mom, like
Gotcha.
His
okay, well,
what's
she like? I don't
know.
I don't see how that's like.
Yeah.
Is she gonna come and like? Is she a
is she
a badass?
Fuck up, like,
is she as
is
she as bad as what's her name? The woman that talks very softly but will really kill you?
Yeah.
Like, if she's badass as that?
The massage chair lady?
Yeah, because she told Rue, she's like, if I don't get my money back, I'm coming after you. I'm selling you to some bad people. And again, at the end of the scene, she's gonna get because she's not gonna sell his drugs. She hasn't sold a single ounce of anything. She's been using it.
Yeah,
I knew she would. I mean, like, as soon as he gets that suitcase, it's like she's gonna get high off her own supply, and she's not gonna sell any of it. So I think somebody's gonna bail her out of it. I don't know who it's gonna be.
It's gonna have to be Fez again.
No,
who's got the money?
No. He is not. I mean, I don't want to say it's not his like. He's tried to help her because. I forget what episode it was in the first season when she's like banging on the door, like, I need this, blah, blah, blah.
I think that's the first episode.
Yeah, and he's like, no, you're not getting nothing. And, he didn't want her to be there when
Mouse
came and she stayed and, and this whole thing, like, I don't know where she's going to get the money. I hope Fez and Lexi, like, end up that we need some more scenes with them. Mm. That's the only, like, one thing that's nice about the show is seeing them together. Yeah. Other than that, like, everybody's so toxic to each other. Yeah, it's like even everybody who's friends with each other like backstabs one another.
Oh, also, by the way, again, I think that this episode again supports the theory of all of Kat's storyline basically getting cut. She gets one more scene with Maddie.
Danielle said that the season was shot after the season was shot before the argument. Right? Yeah. But I was like, you can still edit like around that, you know? Like, again, like where?
Well, that's what I mean. I'm assuming there was more shot.
Right.
Because it's like we keep getting, like, it's still the same ongoing thing. And we get one conversation with her and Maddie where she just goes, I can't stand Ethan. And she's like, well, you got to do what makes you happy. Yeah. And then every other scene, she's just there. One moment
she
in the
says,
hot tub.
"Oh, you did say it like this way," or when Cassie's coming downstairs in the bathing suit, she goes, "Well, that was a choice," or something like that.
Yeah, like that's it. Yeah,
it's like okay, well,
and then we get like a Wes Anderson shot of her and Ethan driving away from the party, and that's it.
Yeah, was that real?
I have no fucking idea.
I thought that was like in her head or something like that.
Show anymore.
But I did think, that I do think if there's nothing. If the rest of the season she really doesn't have any like development or any more arc, then I think it's fair to assume that a lot of her got cut because everybody else is having these moments and she's not really having anything. Yeah. But I think really sucks because I think you were probably 50-50 on her anyway, like just watching the show and watching the show. But she was like kind of finding herself, or even like, who did any of us think that something would come from the Cam thing? I feel like that started and ended.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I
Yeah.
like completely forgot about that till now.
Everything with her online.
Was that this
life
season or was that season 1? That was
the
season
Cam
1.
stuff?
Yeah.
That was all season 1.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
even that, like, still, like, it just kind of, like, faded away. Like, I thought for sure something bad was going to come from that, and nothing.
Like they were gonna find out who she was or something.
So maybe, I don't know. Maybe we need to wait for the end of the season to. But right now, I'm casting judgment. It's like we're going a lot of different places at once, and I don't think you're going to be able to tie it all up. Like I think you're trying to write too many checks that you can't cash.
Exactly.
If I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not that. Hopefully I just want an answer to this brother thing. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Just tell me where he is. Is he dead? Is he alive?
Exactly.
He's the youngest. He's younger too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think they have a lot. I think Euphoria has a lot to live up to in time for its finale.
Yeah.
But another thing that might not land the finale,
Oh boy.
if we can transition here, is the titular Book of Boba Fett.
Yes.
Everybody, the Book of Boba Fett. It's what you've all been waiting for. It's what you all came here to discuss. Yeah. What an episode. That was insanity.
I have a new title.
I don't know what the episode. I don't know. I liked the episode. I don't know what show the episode belonged to. But it was cool that Disney just uploaded an episode of Star Wars.
I Snapchatted you. I Snapchatted you after I watched the episode. I was like, "Are we sure this isn't the Book of Boba Fett or Mandalorian season 3 masqueraded as the Book of Boba Fett?"
Exactly.
Because that's really what it's turning into. And these last 2 episodes again have been the best episodes. And Boba Fett's been in it for a total of like 5 seconds
With 0 lines.
He
This is his line. When he sees Din, he goes,
yeah, for audio listeners,
Yeah.
Sean just
nodded in my head.
Yeah, there's a lot to get into with this episode.
You know what I just thought of?
What?
This might have been meme somewhere, but I just thought of it. Are you familiar with the animated character Franklin, the turtle?
Yes.
You think Tamora Morrison kind of looks like Franklin in the Boba Fett armor with no helmet?
Yeah,
I just pictured him with the big green shoulders and him going,
yeah.
Like it just made me think of Franklin. Okay, but yeah.
So I think, and again, I think this episode had a lot of fan service, but again, I think they did it well.
Yeah.
For example, when the ant droids are building,
Those were cool.
Yeah, I thought they were cool too. They're building the temple that we
Kylo
see. Yeah, I was like,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
I was
that was
like,
cool.
oh, I was like, yes, I love that. Like, and I was like, well, but then at first I was like, wait a minute, it's not very big. Like, I was like, oh, it's not done. It's years.
It's probably like I saw
before.
somebody was like, it's probably the first of many buildings to come.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we see that was Baby Yoda might be. I'm gonna keep saying it. I don't care if his name's Grogu. I'm gonna keep calling him Baby Yoda.
The only person that's gonna yell at you is Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
So that's
he's just the cutest thing I've ever seen. Like his little
really
jumps and all that stuff. What do you mean you hate him?
I don't know. You know what it is? I wish he got bigger. I don't like that. There was
how much time has passed.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like clearly, there's been a time jump because all of these events have happened.
Right.
It's had to have. I mean, you could easily say it's been. It might be a bit of a stretch, but I would have been like, oh, it's been a year, and made like just some of the stuff where he was like, like balancing on one foot.
Yeah.
I was like, the guy's like 10 inches tall. I was like, are we supposed to be impressed by that? Like, not that, but also I feel like he's got to get rid of that. The rap thing.
He's going to, but I love that.
But he's just too. He's like, he's not like agile enough. Like I feel like he's just like this like little moving block. And I'm like I get it. Like I get that he's gonna be small for a very long time. But like you could still make him a little more like. It's not even about the size. It's just mobile. I feel like he's very like. And
it's very stiff.
Yeah, and obviously because half the time he's a puppet. But when you're getting into Yoda doing flips and tricks and shit, you have to use CGI. And granted, there was some pretty blatant Grogu CGI in this. Like some of the jumps, it was like okay, I think I just saw him like bend a little, but like, but like that's kind of like what you have to do, and I feel like a lot of that, like, I don't know, he's so cute, obviously, but I was just like, he's just like almost too small to be like doing this stuff. I feel.
I think he'll grow.
Feels kind of like stilted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I loved, man, there's just so much to talk about. Like, I don't know where. Should we start at a certain specific spot, or should we jump?
We can do whatever. I don't know.
Okay. Well, one thing I really loved was the obviously, like, Luke knows that Din was there, and he just talked to Ahsoka. He left, and I love that he has this. I feel like he kind of has this mindset where he knows he knows the Jedi way is you have to let go of all your possessions and loved ones and stuff like that. But at the back of his mind, I feel like he's like, I wonder if there's a way that you can, you can still have that person that you love and still be a Jedi. Is there a way that you can have your cake and eat it too? And I love that that conflict.
Because really, what it is like, Luke proved that he was a Jedi and brought Anakin back to being a Jedi through the love that they had as father and son. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it's like he knows that. And that's why, if we could jump all the way to the final scene of the episode for a second, I think it's kind of like a fake out with the, like, you have to choose the lightsaber or the Beskar. Yeah. I think Luke wants him to choose the lightsaber, and if he chooses the lightsaber, he'll know, okay, he's ready, but, like, of course I'll still let you see, like, when he's like, if you choose the lightsaber, you might never see, he calls him Mandalorian. Which, like, okay, I get it, like, the whole first season, nobody knew his name. We didn't say his name until, Moff Gideon revealed it. But it's like, enough people know his name now. Like, can we have, like, Peli and Luke and Ahsoka not calling him Mando or the Mandalorian? Like, you know what I mean? Like, now that we all know his name. But Luke says, the Mandalorian. He's like, you may never see the Mandalorian ever again. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he's, like, kind of, like, prodding Grogu a little bit to be like, if he picks the lightsaber, he'll be like, all right, you've chosen the path of the Jedi. You're committed to this. Right. Here's the armor. You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like Luke knows, like, it's that kind of, like,
is that kind of,
you still want your dad, like, your dad?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of, like, you're a lesser Jedi. You know what I mean? Like, that's the same shit that fucking ruined his dad.
I was going to say, and it's that kind of thing where it's like you can have one or the other. And you pick, the way of the Jedi, but that also, puts in your mind, like, man, like, I would love to have this in it. I would love to have the other thing and, have both. And I feel like that just, like, when you're a Jedi or, you're going through that training, again, you just want both. And I feel like that pushes you more to the dark side because you're trying to do both and you can, and it's a difficult balance.
Yeah.
By the way, the Luke CGI looked very good. Very good.
It's ridiculous.
I thought it looked good at the end of the Mandalorian season 2.
The difference is, remember, they hired the deepfake guy.
Right.
The YouTuber?
Yeah.
I think that's what the difference was. Because, I thought it looked, like, really good at the end of Mandalorian. Mm-hmm. This was, like, that was Mark Hamill.
There were moments for me where I'm like,
there were angles.
I'm like, and this is just me because he's wearing the same thing in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, okay, Mark Hamill was a little bit like, his cheeks were a little, puffier and something like that. But it's like really small things like that. But if I just look past that, it's like, oh, that's Mark Hamill. And I know people really want Sebastian Stan to just kind of take
now.
The
I don't think it's possible.
I mean, it's still possible. I mean, you can't. I don't think you can do that for a whole. Like, if you were to do a Luke show, I don't think you can do that for the whole show.
I don't think even with
the voice is piecemeal together.
To me, the voice is just it's not. To me, the voice isn't even bad.
No,
it's just
I don't think
the voice is the worst part of it.
Yeah, because I think it's unnatural. You could tell it's unnatural.
Yeah, because it's partially Mark Hamill's voice now.
Yeah,
modulated to sound young, it's partly a computer generated voice,
Right.
and it's partly a totally different actor, all meshed and stitched and AI together. And like the technology is absolutely getting there, but like until it's there, it needs some more work on the voice. But visually, do I think that you could do a Luke Skywalker show with it the way that it was in Book of Boba Fett? I think you could. I wouldn't. Could you do it with the way that it was in Mandalorian? No, absolutely.
No, yeah.
But we're getting there.
Yeah,
Another year or two.
Oh, yeah.
I think you could. I think you could. If you can nail the voice, I think you could. With how it is in the Book of Boba Fett, could you do a show that includes Luke, where he's not in every scene, he's not the main character, but he's in every episode? 100%. The man had 25 minutes of screen time in this episode, and it was 90% there.
Right.
Like that, like I sent you that image, you know, after we'd both watched it. I just sent TJ like a screen grab of just him in the episode, and I was like, not only like is it crazy that they could do this, but I was like, literally 7 years ago, like before the first Ant-Man came out, because that's, you know, where the first, besides like Tron Legacy, which was a totally different technology, so I'm not even gonna count it, but when they started using like the AI de-aging and stuff, like with Michael Douglas, and Ant-Man was the first main one. If you sent that picture of Luke in this episode to somebody 7 years ago, you'd be like, what is that?
Yeah.
Is that a painting? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You'd be like, what am I looking at here? Like, and if the answer was no, that's a live action Luke Skywalker played by Mark Hamill in 2022, you'd be like, what?
Yeah.
How? And also, I think, honestly, for me, one of the main things that was very off to me in Mandalorian was his hair. His hair was perfect in this episode. Yeah. His hair was great.
It even had like the scar kind of on his lip right here,
yeah,
which
like
I don't
from
know.
His actual accident.
Yeah,
like
which I don't know if they had in Mandalorian. I'd have to go back and watch it.
Yeah, I don't think that. I don't actually know. I don't think they did, because primarily the pictures they took were from, I think it was from episode 4 and 5 primarily.
Oh.
So like it wasn't hit, which is weird because you'd think that they would want to only take pictures from
6.
Return of the Jedi, exactly. But for some reason they did I think all 3 movies, but mainly it was the younger one, which I don't know. But yeah, I don't think it had it. Like this was so much more accurate, because we saw in the making of, in the Mandalorian, you know, gallery thing, that it wasn't a deep fake in the Mandalorian. They went fully CGI with it. This was a deep fake. And it's like,
well, they had
totally insane.
Well, they had that actor though in the Mandalorian.
Yeah, but it was just a total CG face replacement.
Oh, right.
Yeah, this was deep fake with CGI enhancement. So that's why I think it was like great, because in the gallery they were like, we're gonna do a deep fake, but they were like, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni were like, it's not there yet, and it seemingly just came down to this guy that they got from YouTube. He's the same guy that did a whole bunch of like famous deep fakes, but he mainly he did the Tom Holland RDJ Back to the Future one, like that one that was like really good and stuff, and that was even like 5 years ago, or like 4 years ago or something. But yeah, I mean the Luke just was incredible. But I feel like we got to talk about too. We're gonna need flashbacks or something, because I need to know how they first met, but Luke Skywalker and Ahsoka Tano are like friends.
Yeah.
What?
I love that.
Said,
I'm a family friend or whatever.
Yeah, she was like, I'm an old family friend. When she patted R2 and he did his little, I was like, oh my God. But when oh my God, honestly, top 3, if not the top moment of this episode, when he goes, he's like, I don't know. Like when Luke's just like talking to himself kind of, and he's like, I don't know. I just feel like his heart's not in it. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And she just looks at him and she's like, you are so much like your father. Yeah. Like, and it's like, and then she says like, well, sometimes, the student guides the master.
Right.
And it's like, because like, obviously she fucking, did half the fucking work for Anakin. But, like, I just loved that we're like, And the fact that like Luke smiled at that, like that, you know what I mean? Because that's something that's so lacking is like post Return of the Jedi. What does Luke feel? What does he think when he thinks about his father? You know what I mean? Like we know through the book Bloodline, like we know Leia knew and didn't make a difference to her. She was not on board. She was like, okay, like she basically like couldn't reconcile it. Like she was like, okay, my father was Anakin Skywalker. Yes, he came back. Yes, but he also my dad tortured me.
Right.
And you know what I mean? Like, and like held me prisoner and shit. Like, you know, so she was kind of like, it was always tearing her up inside type of thing. But like Luke was like, he was full on like, you know, flip switch.
Yeah.
Like he was ready to go. And so I love that when she said like, you're so much like your father, he wasn't like, he like smiled at it because it's like, he remembers who Anakin is. And I honestly feel like now, where I didn't think this before, I think we could see Luke in the Ahsoka show.
Yeah.
I really think we could. I think we could see Ahsoka, Luke, and Ezra all in the same show, which would be like insanity. Because before it's like, you know, I'm always one of those people that like, whenever somebody like Star Wars Theory, who like, you know, he's always out there with his predictions. This is like a Star Wars Theory prediction episode. You know what I mean? When people are like, and then, you know, Cobb Vanth's going to show up and Ahsoka and Luke are going to be like, you know, they're going to be chilling on the Forest Moon of Endor with like a baby Yoda. And then like, there's going to like Boba Fett's going to be there. And then Cad Bane's going to show up and you're like, okay,
Yeah,
what comic is this? Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's like, no, that just happened in live action Star Wars. I was like, what? So I think we should talk about the man himself.
Yeah.
And I love that the name of the episode is a stranger, or from the desert comes a stranger.
Yeah.
And you like the episode starts and you're in the desert and then somebody walks up and you're like, oh, it's Cobb Vanth. You're like, that's the stranger in the desert. Yeah. Great. And then all this other awesomeness happens and then you forget the name of the episode. And then at the end, oh, another stranger's coming out of the desert. But who is it this time? The fucking craziest motherfucker in the goddamn galaxy who's still alive. He's like 75 at this point, but
as soon as I saw that not quite 10-gallon hat, but as soon as I saw that hat, and I was like, oh, here we go.
Oh my god! I like
a bit lighter blue than I would have liked. Would have liked a little darker blue.
Somebody said it might be because he's old.
Yeah,
because I guess
beggars can't be choosers.
Like Duros, in you played the campaign of Battlefront 2, right?
I did, yes.
Like Shriv, he gets lighter as he ages.
Okay, yeah. Like
when they do the sequel era one, he's got lighter skin. So somebody said that apparently Duros their skin lightens as they get older, which I didn't know. So I guess if that's true, I guess that's Dave. I heard it's Dave also Filoni knows more about Star Wars than I do.
I heard it's also the same voice actor.
Yeah, it's Corey Burton. Yeah, and I was like, why does it sound different? And then
that's what I thought. I thought it sounded different as well.
And then I'm reminded this is 40 years older than we've ever seen him.
That's also true.
So it's like I gotta keep that in mind that it's so far forward. Which is crazy because this means he could show up in every season of the Bad Batch and he's untouchable. Yeah. So give me, you know. Also, next week are we gonna get a Bad Batch rematch of Fennec and Bane? You know.
Oh yeah.
Fennec, Boba, Cad Bane, Cobb Vanth. They're all gonna shoot at each other.
Yeah. Now. That was,
and then Omega's gonna show
that
up.
Was, and Filoni directed this episode, and of course he had to direct the episode where he brought one of his, you know, animated characters to life, live action. But the way he built up that suspense between the three, like the deputy and Cobb Vanth and Cad Bane,
you knew that deputy was.
I knew he was
ashes
toast.
The second he was like, "Yeah, sir, you can't park here," and Cobb was like. He's new. He's
but
okay.
Like the way like panning back and forth to them, and I was like, what's gonna happen? Like, and
the way that he just kept his hat down, like, for like 80% of it, and then finally tipped it up, like, oh my god, and his eyes.
Oh yeah, they was like burning. They look really good too. I was like, oh, those look good.
Oh my god, it looks so good.
So is Cobb? You think he's not dead, right?
No, I think Cad Bane purposely shot him in the shoulder.
Okay, he got shot in the shoulder.
Yeah, I think he purposely did. I think he killed the deputy.
Yeah,
to prove
dead.
To prove him.
he
shot him like
5 times.
Yeah, he like emptied the clip. Well, if they had bullets in Star Wars, he emptied the clip.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that Cobb he purposely shot in the shoulder to kind of like take him out of commission. But like, if he. Because he doesn't come in and he's like, we're running this town now, boy. Oh, he's like, if y'all just, let the Pikes do it. What is it? He's like, I can't do the voice, but, he's like, if the spice keeps running, then like we'll have no problems type of thing. So I don't think he was wanting to like remove the leadership. You know what I mean? I think he was just like, all right, I'm going to teach this guy Cobb Vanth a lesson, murder this idiot. That way when Vanth is back on his feet, he'll, keep his people in line type of thing. But it's obviously going to do the exact opposite. It's just going to make them want to fight with Boba even more. I did like, though, that, like, we got a little bit of, like, how Cobb Vanth was, how Cad Bane was at least, like, lying. Well, he wasn't really lying. But when he tells him, he's like, do you even know who, he tells Cobb, he's like, do you even know who Boba Fett is? Mm-hmm. He's like, Boba Fett was a cold-blooded killer that worked for the Empire. Yeah. Like, and it's like, okay, well.
I'd be like, what are you?
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, what are you talking about? You work for fucking Count Dooku murdering people left and right. But, no, literally. But, like, and it's like, okay. Yeah, that's true, but also you're a very biased person when it comes to talking about Boba Fett, first of all. Second of all, he's a changed man, I'll have you know. Okay? But yeah, I don't know. He's
lucky Din just left. He was about to have he would add some words.
I know, we missed him by like 4 seconds. But I really hope they can stick all this landing.
The thing with me for this series remains the Pikes, whereas I don't even after they blew up the bar. They blew up the bar to either crazy. Which when they put that thing down, I go, that's either a bomb or it's an offering. Yeah. Turns out it was a bomb.
I didn't even think about
I'm assuming they're all dead. Although even me suspecting that, I was like, whoa. Yeah. They actually blew that thing up.
It all happened I was just like so caught up in everything that was happening. I didn't even think about it. Yeah. I was just like, oh, they left. I was like, what? And then the droid picks it up and then, okay, everyone's dead. I do like, though, that they showed that it was a droid drumming tonight, so Max Rebo was not there. So he lives to play another day. It was Max's off day.
That's funny.
But yeah. But Garza Thwip is dead.
Yeah.
Blown up.
And again, they bring up like, the mayor's in cahoots and his like whatever guy. Shit, he's like, oh, he's actually taking a vacation.
Yeah.
He said he's off. They say he's off world. Vacation. And he's like, who's playing vacation? It's like, who cares? Like, if this guy doesn't matter, why do we keep bringing him up?
Yeah.
Like, and again, the Pikes again just not maybe Cad Bane makes him a bit more threatening, but again, he's a lone wolf. He's a mercenary.
Yeah.
And
now do you think this now confirms that Cad Bane was probably the one that killed the Tuskens? Do we think that he's been working with the Pikes that long?
But didn't that wait a minute. I thought the people that killed the Tuskens were the
yeah, but remember Fennec is like a Nikto speeder gang killed a whole clan of Tuskens. Yeah. She's like likely story.
Well, I don't know if they blew up that house and killed all those people in that house in like the second episode or whatever.
Yeah, but that was just like 2 humans.
I guess, but
this was like a warrior tribe of Tuskens.
That's true. I don't know. Maybe they were working
because also he didn't see them do it. He just saw their symbol. So he
right.
And I'm sure Bane is. We've seen him frame plenty of people, but
right.
I don't know. I feel like Fennec's little line of like, you're telling me a band of speeder bike, bandits took on like 20 Tuskens. Mm-hmm. Not only took on, but murdered and then burned their entire camp. Now, granted, you're like, okay, well, Cad Bane's only one person. But if you haven't watched the Clone Wars, Cad Bane could murder like 100 people and walk out of it. And he has. But, yeah, I don't know. I just really hope that they stick the landing. And I think that you really can, because there's a lot of this that can just carry over to Mando.
I think, like, for example, like, him going back to Mandalore, that's definitely season 3. Like, that has to be season 3.
Like, that is, like, the one thing that I can say is they've now set it up that no matter what, like, the finale is going to again be from Boba's perspective. Like, because it's like now Din is, he put everything aside that he had to do.
He's like, now okay, we're ready to fight.
Yeah, exactly. And so now it's like, Boba can take the lead again. But you gotta finish off everything that you started with Boba's story. If there's a secret to the Tuskens being killed, you gotta reveal it in the next episode. You have to resolve. Maybe you don't resolve the entire Pike thing because that's a lot to undo. Like, I don't think they're just gonna like get beaten down and then be like, now you stay off Tatooine. Like, I think it'll be like they're gonna probably maybe beat them back to just Mos Eisley. Like, it's what Cobb Vanth says. He's like, I'm sure this kind of thing.
Did you like the town name?
Freetown.
Freetown.
I don't know. It felt very like book Star Wars, like something like that. Like, I did like just how like unabashed they were about it. Like the bartender was like, no,
it's Freetown.
It's Freetown now. You hear me? We didn't like the name. We changed it. And I love how Din's just kind of like, okay, Freetown. It's like he's like, all right, I stand corrected. It still doesn't change anything. But yeah, I don't know, man.
I think this brings us to the question, like, should this show be called, I feel like, Book of Boba Fett? Because, again, I would argue, and I think a lot of people probably have this opinion, is that the best 2 episodes of Book of Boba Fett had no Boba Fett, except for this episode, which had him 5 seconds nodding.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that, and again, I said this last week, I think it was maybe 2 weeks ago, or it must have been last week. I said, are we sure that maybe Boba Fett is not as cool or people are as interested in him than they think they are? And they made a show about it, and now everybody's like, although granted, they're not doing anything to help the character because they put him in flashbacks for the first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
And then the 4th episode, we have the Pikes as villains and stuff like that. And it's just like the Pikes are just, I don't really, who cares? And then they have the Hutts come back. And they leave,
yeah.
And so I feel like they're not really doing the character any favors. Yeah, and then as soon as Din shows up, it's like, boom, okay, we're back. Yeah. Like, yes, give me more Din, give me more Luke, give me more Baby Yoda.
So this is where I'm at with it. So people were like Alex Damon from Star Wars Explained, go subscribe to. He's got like hundreds of thousands of subscribers, but go subscribe to him if you're not. He was like, okay, well, I'm going to think of episode 5 as like an interlude in the Book of Boba Fett, because he's like, that's where Cobb Vanth was originally introduced, was these interludes in the Aftermath series was for chapters at a time. You know what I mean? Like, if there was 30 chapters in the Aftermath books, like 6 of them would be the interlude chapters. That's where Cobb Vanth was introduced. Like in the first Aftermath book, it was all these interludes about Cobb Vanth and how he passed out, went to the Jawas, got the armor, Mos Pelgo, all that stuff that they then kind of retreaded in The Mandalorian for the live action. But now it's like, well, it's not just an interlude because it's more than one like, this is a long time. So the way that I'm flipping it in my head to justify it, because last week I was very much upset about not having Boba in his own show. Now I'm just thinking about it as the Book of Boba Fett is the interlude to The Mandalorian. That's how I'm thinking of it.
Yeah.
Is like kind of what you said before we went live. I was just going to say, before we went live, you were like, well, why is it called that? You know what I mean? Like, I get that. Like, it really should have been called I don't know, maybe it should have been called The Mandalorian : Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Boba Fett is a Mandalorian. Well, give or take, whoever
Yeah.
you want to believe on that. But like, maybe that's what it should be called. But either way, I think now, me personally, my headcanon, whether or not this is true or not, my headcanon, I think now I can comfortably say to myself, okay, this is the interlude between season 2 and season 3 of The Mandalorian. That I said to you before we went live, I was like, I confidently feel that Boba Fett is going to be a main character in The Mandalorian, in the show The Mandalorian, going forward. So I think that this is just to give us even more background, even more information, even more setup for this character that isn't going away anytime soon. You know what I mean? Even when the Book of Boba Fett comes to an end, they got Tamora Morrison, locked down on a contract for the rest of his life for 80,000 characters and 1 million more on the way. And I really think that that's what it comes down to, is like, that's just the way that I'm reconciling it in my head is, okay, if they can settle up the story that they have set up in this show, and then we can have Boba again going forward type of thing, that, he's running stuff on Tatooine, but he's also, going to help Din, or, doing stuff, maybe Tatooine now for a long time will be Din's kind of base of operations to kind of build things up again because I think either way, the structure of Mandalorian season 3 is going to be totally different. Because they heard what people said. You know what I mean? A lot of people didn't like the nature of the first season, which was, if you guys remember, the first season of The Mandalorian was, every week was totally not connected.
Right.
I feel like people lose sight of that all the time. But that was a big complaint, was that people were like, is this building to anything? Mm-hmm. And then in the second to last episode, he was like, let's go round up the gang, and then it built to stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel like season 3 will be a lot more like Book of Boba Fett, where it will be a progressive narrative story, instead of just, because even season 2 of Mandalorian was like that. It was the ice spiders, then it was the frog lady, then it was, the prison, then it was, Mayfield again, with Bill Burr and stuff. So I think it's going to change a lot, and I just feel like we got to roll with the punches. And like I said, I don't really care what the show is called. Lucasfilm uploaded a really great episode of Star Wars this week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just the way that I got to think about it. Because I honestly, I really don't care what the show is called now at this point. I'm just like, if this is, I tweeted, I was like, if this is what Star Wars is now on a week-to-week basis, sign me the fuck up. You know what I mean? If we're getting Luke Skywalker in the same episode as Cobb Vanth, or, in the same episode as Cad Bane. What?
Yeah, I think you look at it from this perspective of from the title, you're thinking this is Boba Fett's show. He's gonna be the main character every episode. And maybe if you're like a huge Boba Fett fan, you're disappointed. Me, I'm just kind of like, yeah, he's cool. And it's cool to get background knowledge on, how he got out of the Sarlacc pit and everything. But he's not he's not someone I'm completely
chat.
He's not I'm not completely invested in. I'd rather hear more about Din's story and, where he's going next.
Yeah. Here, let me read off some of the chat.
Okay.
So Michelle says, best de-aging ever. I felt like I was watching a CW crossover. It did feel a lot like that. It was it was like Flash and Arrow are all in this, and Supergirl. But it's Luke, Ahsoka. It was like a live action episode of the Clone Wars. But that even is an understatement, which we haven't even talked about the Clone Wars flashback. Order 66. Which I think there's more to come of unlocking his memories.
Yeah.
I love the way that Luke says to Ahsoka, where he's like, I'm not really sure how much I'm teaching him or how much he's just remembering what he already knows.
Right, yeah.
I like that, because it's this guy learned from, Grogu, like, knew Count Dooku, knew quiet, like, he learned from all these people. Like, he was at the Jedi Temple for 20 years before Order 66, which is awesome. But, all right. So she says, best de-aging ever. I feel like I'm watching the crossover. She said, pick the armor for Grogu. I was thinking as I watched it that he would be on the Ahsoka show. For Luke. I figured he was... Oh, she said, I figured Cad Bane might have been lighter blue because he's been out in the sun too much. Kind of like with Tatooine, how everybody like ages super rapidly. That might be why too. Depending if he has been on Tatooine for like years.
Well, it looks like he's walking everywhere. Nobody has horses or nobody able to have speeders on the main character.
Where's
walks.
Bill Hader? Where's Toto 360? His droid, the one that he stands on that scoots him around everywhere. Maybe he's, I don't know, maybe he's gone. Or maybe he switched over to Omega's side after didn't she like fix his foot or something in the season? I think
so, yeah.
But yeah, or sorry, not Bill Hader.
Bill Burr.
No, Seth Green plays Toto 360.
Oh,
that's who it was. Let's see. If they keep bringing up the mayor, I feel like there is something about him that matters. You'd think. You'd hope so. Yeah. I don't know. And then she said, I don't agree with that. I feel like all the episodes were great. Just the last two had everyone in it. There has to be a reason. Oh, that's for like the first season of Mando being disconnected. Yeah, no, I agree. Like I definitely loved The Mandalorian. I just mean a lot of people were very unhappy with how disconnected it all felt. And then, of course, yeah, it did. It perfectly all came together at the end. But I feel like you have to kind of keep moving on now. If it's getting to be, if the story is getting to be this tightly woven and interconnected, I don't think that there's a lot of room for filler anymore. You know what I mean? And obviously there is still room for, one-off adventures and stuff like that. I think that that's kind of the part of the charm of, watching Din Djarin 2, like, go through all this stuff. But that being said, I think we're going to see less and less of that going forward. But yeah, what do you think is going to happen with Grogu? Is he staying with Luke? Is he going back to Mando? Is that a character regression? What do you think?
No, I don't. I think he's going to. I don't know what he's going to pick. We might not even find out what he picks until like Mandalorian season 3 or something.
Oh yeah, I don't think we're going. Back to Luke or Grogu.
Neither do I.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be something that waits. I don't know what show it'll be. It'll probably be season 3, maybe Ahsoka. Yeah, exactly. More likely season 3 because season 3 is closer than Ahsoka. Or is it called? Is it Tano or Ahsoka? Is that what the show? Oh, okay. Yeah. But yeah, I think again I think the next episode is going to be them fighting the Pikes, and again something's going to happen with. I think we're going to see a Cad Bane kind of Din Djarin maybe face off somewhere, because I feel like or maybe Boba Fett, because he seems to really really dislike Boba.
I feel like Cad Bane is going to. Well, I feel like in some way or another the Pikes are going to lose their power. So I feel like, and obviously Cad Bane is not stupid enough to get himself killed for them. I feel like Endgame, I feel like Cad Bane's going to end up working for Thrawn in some capacity. That like he's going to be someone that they have to either take out or is working for Thrawn. Because what was the little guy's name? That Thrawn's like... You know what I mean? Like the little gray guy, like the little assassin that he had in Rebels.
Yeah.
But he gets killed by Zeb. Mm-hmm. So I think he needs like a new like assassin. Reek? I think that's his name.
If I saw him, I'd be like, oh yeah.
He's like the gray. He's like the gray camouflagey guy that like was played by Warwick Davis. But, or Grick or something like that. But either way, regardless, Thrawn is in need of a new, like, kind of assassin sidekick type of guy. So,
Rook or Rook.
Oh, Rook. That's what it is. Yeah. I knew that it was like Rick or Grick or something. But yeah, so I think maybe Cad Bane ends up working for him, because we already know that
He's gonna be
all this is leading to probably. I think the whole thing's gonna link in together, and it's probably gonna lead to a showdown of, as Din is coming to power or trying to retake Mandalore, Thrawn is gonna start his attack on whatever it is, the galaxy or Mandalore itself or something like that. And I think that the whole thing's going to build to a big finale of the retaking of Mandalore. Is it going to go, to Din, or is Thrawn going to, crush them type of thing? And then maybe Ezra comes in and...
Well, yeah, that'd be pretty dope.
Did
you real quick, did you realize how small Yoda's lightsaber was? I was like, oh, it's a mini lightsaber, and then he said it was Yoda's. I was like, is that small?
Well, they kind of like mind tricked, because it's like, it definitely wasn't that small.
Yeah.
And second of all, Palpatine had that, and then
after
their fight in the Senate.
The Senate, yeah.
Now I'm fully okay. After my introduction to it with the Bad Batch retconning Kanan's comics.
You don't even see him with a lightsaber in the original trilogy at all, do you?
No, not at all. Because in the Kanan comic, and like I said, I understand now that they're gonna retcon some of the comics sometimes. That's okay. In the Kanan comic, you see Maz Amedda. He gives this whole speech, and he goes. They throw all the lightsabers that they claim from the temple into this big cauldron, and then he holds up Yoda's and he goes, and this last one is the ultimate sign of, our freedom from the oppressive Jedi and from the wretched, Grand Master Yoda or whatever. Like, because, like, in the public eye, which is, again, it's like, okay, how does Luke not know who Yoda is? Because it's like, in the public eye, it's like Yoda was, like, who the Emperor, like, and Maz Amedda, like, pinned it all on. They were like, he was the mastermind of the Jedi plot to take over type thing.
Well, I mean, Luke also lives in the desert.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You don't fucking know.
They don't have the HoloNet.
Yeah.
But then he takes Yoda's lightsaber and he throws it in the cauldron, and they melt down Yoda's lightsaber. So they kind of retconned that a little bit, which I'm okay with them doing that, but it still doesn't explain, how did Luke get it from the Senate? How did it get from the Senate to Luke? Yeah. But then again, we still don't even fucking know how Maz Kanata had Luke's lightsaber.
Who did you say, Maz Amedda? Who is that? I don't think I know who that is.
Palpatine's like right-hand guy.
Oh, yeah.
The Senate
gotcha.
guy. Yeah.
I always forget his name.
Yeah. He's still alive in at this time, so they could bring him back. Because he survived... he was like the first public trial that the New Republic had.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he survived everything, and like after the Death Star blew up, they like stormed the Jedi Temple basically, and like literally pulled Maz Amedda out of the building, and then he stood trial. So he's like in a New Republic prison somewhere. So I mean, they could bring him back if they want to. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those Star Wars things of like I said. It's 7 years. It's been 7 years since The Force Awakens came out.
Right.
Oh God, that's a long time. It's been 7 years since The Force Awakens came out, and we still don't have the how do you have Luke's lightsaber? That's a story for another day. We still don't know. So it's like sometimes these things just disappear and then come back, and you're like, well, don't worry about it. So I don't know.
Real quick, we didn't talk about the flashback, the vision. I guess you want to call it. That was crazy. I guess we'll find out how he survived, right? Because they were coming at him.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I want to go back and watch that scene, because now was that Tamora Morrison, or was that D. Bradley Baker?
Doing I don't
clone
know.
Voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, because technically, it should have been Tamora Morrison, but I don't know.
Huh. That's very interesting. Well, I hope this last episode sticks the landing. I hope it isn't like
it's the same thing we've said about every single Disney Plus show. Well, this last one's got to be an hour.
Yeah, it's 30.
And it never is.
It's never. Maybe this one.
Except for the Hawkeye one. Actually, the Hawkeye one. No.
Oh.
Wait, was it? Yeah, the Hawkeye finale was an hour and 2 minutes. If this can be an hour and 2 minutes like the Hawkeye one
They can pull it off.
They can pull it off.
Yeah.
I mean, because you can resolve a movie in 45 minutes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Really, that's the thing. Is you could resolve a movie, but then again, a TV show sets up a lot more than a movie sets up because it has way more time to. So, I guess we'll see. But the main thing is, at this point, last week's was, okay, why are we diverting to Din? This week was like, okay, I get it. We're wrapping up this stuff. Now, if we do anything away from Boba Fett, it just won't make sense.
Oh, yeah.
Because now
agree.
Yeah, now it's like, well, who are you gonna cut to? Are you gonna follow Ahsoka?
Yeah.
Like what? What do you mean? I
remember saying too at the end of Mandalorian season 2, I was like, oh, we won't see Grogu for a long time. And then we see him play the next show.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we said we were. I mean, we didn't say because we thought it was just a foregone conclusion that we'll never see Luke again.
Oh yeah,
we got a whole episode with him.
Yeah, I was like, oh, we won't see him.
Or also, I would say it was a pretty foregone conclusion. We probably wouldn't see Ahsoka until Ahsoka.
Ahsoka, yeah.
We got a whole episode with her. So I think this episode.
Who's directing the next episode? That'll be a tell. Okay, well,
yeah,
they're not gonna do anything like revealing in that.
Yeah, but also like I feel like Robert Rodriguez has kind of had the worst episodes this season.
What did he do? First 2
No.
episodes? He did.
The first 2 were good. He did the third episode,
which was
with the biker gang.
Okay.
And
you mean like the modders?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he did the 4th episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's, a lot of other stuff goes into the episodes, but
yeah, no,
I do agree with that. Yeah, but like if this last episode was again like Filoni, Favreau, even Bryce Dallas Howard, you'd be like, oh, you're probably expecting something.
If it was Bryce Dallas Howard, I would have no doubts at all that they could stick the entire landing of everything.
Yeah, because the last episode
killed
was fantastic.
Yeah. Like I see people like my mother too is like, and a lot of people like I get it, like they're like, oh my God, she needs to have a Star Wars movie. I'm like, don't give her a movie, give her a show, give her 8 episodes to just like give her $300 million to make the best 8 minutes of 8 episodes. Of Star
I don't know
Wars.
what I'll be honest, like watching this episode. This is a different topic, but watching this episode, like watching Luke with Ahsoka, I was sitting there, I was like, man, I cannot wait for Kenobi. I don't know why, like it just came to my head.
I was just thinking,
which we still have a date. We don't know when that's coming.
It's got to be May 4th, like, because Moon Knight
is March,
and it's going to run right up to April.
Doctor Strange, right?
No, it'll be a little bit before that because Doctor Strange is.
Oh, is that May?
May 6th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and like May 4th is a Wednesday. But Moon Knight will end 1 week before May 4th.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it'll literally leave the door right open for a Star Wars series.
Because we still haven't got a trailer. Like, remember that whole hullabaloo like a few months ago? It was like trailers coming. Or no, it was the Disney Plus day where it's like Kenobi trailer. Like they didn't say it, but everybody was like, "It's got to be Disney Plus day," and there was nothing.
I mean, they cut the whole Star Wars segment. Like that was so.
I remember we were streaming and we're like, "Oh, okay,
yeah,
that's it."
It was terrible. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, but the Julia Louis-Dreyfus. There we go. Her show, the New Adventures of Old Christine.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know why I was just sitting here thinking. I was like, what if they named Kenobi like the New Adventures of Old Ben? I don't know why that was. Is that
all the official title? Is Kenobi?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you're just meaning like if they just.
I was just like, Joe. Yeah, I don't know why that was what was in my head, but I was just like the New Adventures of Old Ben. Yeah. It's just like him, like with his little like Sex in the City show, but on Tatooine.
I think this episode was also a lesson in how you use R2, as you don't have him sitting stagnant for an entire movie.
Literally, R2 and Luke had more lines and screen time in this episode than they did in the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
Luke, that might not be true.
Luke's definitely not true.
R2, absolutely true. Absolutely true. That guy, I mean, they literally had him under a tarp for the entire first movie. They basically had Luke under a tarp for the whole first movie too. But yeah, then Luke definitely had a lot more screen time in Last Jedi than he did in this. But still,
the other thing, actually, when they were building the temple, is when they were first building it, I was like, oh, that looks like
the ones on Octu.
Yes. Yeah. And I was like, well, this is a different planet.
Yeah.
And this, like, it was on the edge of, like, a cliff. Like, this doesn't make any sense. And I was like, oh. Then I thought back to the...
What planet do you think that we were on? Because we still don't know.
I have no
and we still don't know where his temple was. So a lot of people were thinking, though, that it could have been the Forest Moon of Endor.
I thought you were saying that because you knew.
No, I was just saying that because that's what people are assuming.
Right. I mean, how many planets do we actually have? Like 10?
No, there's like 90.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's
with
one
names?
of my biggest. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That we've been to.
That we've been to? Okay.
Yeah. That's like one of my biggest gripes with
Build
the
it on
sequel
Mustafar.
trilogy.
That's what I say.
That's like one of my biggest gripes with the sequel trilogy is like, why do we? And it's not even just the sequel trilogy. They did it in Mandalorian. They do it in Mandalorian as well. It's like, I get that it's a big galaxy, but it's like
always comes back to Tatooine.
No, yeah, but it's always either Tatooine or any other planet we go to. It's always a new planet.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, where is Coruscant? Why is nothing taking place? Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, why is there's not one episode of Mandalorian that takes place on Coruscant? There's not one episode where they go to Naboo.
Cobb Vanth walks up and goes, "Is that a Nabooian starfighter?" Or whatever he says.
He was like, "It was."
I also did like when he was like, "Where's the little guy?" He was like,
"Yeah,
it's back with his own Kai." He's like, "That's a shame."
Yeah,
I thought that was really funny. Oh my god, what an episode!
What an episode!
God damn. I pray that they stick the landing. They have with I feel like we have no reason to doubt them because Mandalorian season 1 and season 2, season 2 especially, stuck it. So like,
season 2 was like, that finale was incredible. Who directed that? I think it was. It was Peyton Reed.
Oh, Peyton Reed.
Yeah, Peyton Reed was so good in that too. Or he was so good like directing that. I wish that he got him back, but he's a little busy directing an Ant-Man movie right now. But
good old Quantumania.
Yeah. But once he raps on that, though, I would love for him to come back for. Well, I don't know. Maybe we don't really know how far along Mando season 3 is in production.
Right.
I'd have to assume they're pretty far, because you've got to assume that they filmed episode 5 of this when they were filming The Mandalorian. That's what I'd assume.
I'm just scrolling through like what Star Wars shows like are like on IMDb. So we have like Obi-Wan, we have Kenobi, obviously, Ahsoka, Lando.
Yeah, we haven't heard anything about that.
Which I don't.
Andor is supposed to be this year. It's supposed to be the fall.
Again, Andor is like, I feel like Andor has been in production forever.
It has been. It started filming in 2020.
Yeah, it's just like some crazy timeline where I'm like, I feel like they've been pushing it. Acolyte, which is like, there's been, they're just
like writing that. I think
there was the talk where it was like the person who had no idea of Star Wars, like was in the writing room, which is like different perspective.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's one of 9 writers.
Yeah, it's like whatever. I said Kenobi, Rangers of the New Republic, which we don't know if
it's apparent. It's officially off the release schedule, but I hope they bring it back. Like I said last week, like just bring it back and make it like a Carson Teva show. You know what I mean? Like give him his own show. I don't think you need Cara Dune for that show. Mm-hmm. There's also rumors of a Bo-Katan spinoff show.
Yeah.
Oh, Star Wars Droids.
That's what I was just droid story.
Yeah, droid story.
Okay.
That's the one. It's about
R2D and C-3PO.
Yeah.
Which is like, okay, I don't know if I need that, but
and then today, big news if it's true, apparently they are with Dave Filoni producing and show running the show or something. They're thinking of, or I guess doing, a animated series based on the novel Lost Stars.
Oh yeah,
which is like like I told you, still to this day, hands down the best Star Wars canon novel that they've done. It's a young adult novel. It's so good.
Yeah, I told you, or I don't know if I told you this. I started it.
Yeah.
And I have not. And again, it's just me with Audible. Like there's so many things that I listen to like throughout the course of a work day, whereas I like most of the time don't get to Audible things. Like I told you, I have like 5 credits.
Yeah.
They're just sitting in my account. I have nothing to do with, and I have all these books on there because they're sharing the thing.
Yeah.
But
knock out Lost Stars, and then by the time you're done with Lost Stars, what is it called? Brothers or Brotherhood? Brotherhood should be out. That's the one about Anakin and Obi-Wan.
oh, okay.
Yeah, that because I think that comes out May 1st.
And you're on High Republic, right?
I just don't have enough time. Like there's just so much to it. Like, and like the first phase of it is finishing in February 23rd. It's gonna be done. So there's going to be a decent break in High Republic stuff being released, so maybe I'll have a chance to catch up. I keep up with the story like through the Star Wars Explained YouTube channel. He always releases like canon updates and different things like for like keeping you up to date with what's happening in the High Republic. So I've kept up to date with like some of the stuff that's happening. I love some of the characters. I love some of the setup and stuff. It just sounds like the novels are a little bit like 60-40 hit or miss. Like 40% aren't up to snuff with all the other ones, and it's like I don't, and like you said, like I've been into Audible, but now that I'm done with like the Harry Potter stuff, like I'm probably gonna get much more back into the Star Wars reading and stuff and finish stuff, because I still gotta finish Thrawn Ascendancy.
Yeah, I'm on whatever the 3rd book is in that like first trilogy. With the Emperor and him.
Treason.
Yeah, Treason. Yeah. That's the one I'm still
on. Yeah, I finished Treason, and then I'm on Ascendancy. I'm still on Ascendancy 1. They're already on the 3rd Ascendancy. Yeah. I don't know how Timothy Zahn is writing these things. Like, he's just, like, doing, Adderall and Coke or something. I don't know.
Okay, last thing I'll say real quick is last week's episode, when that little droid came in, before I think Amy Sedaris, like, showed up, that little droid with the 2 feet, and he's really short. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Did you think, oh my God, are they gonna bring Kellen? That's what I thought.
I didn't immediately.
That's immediately what I thought.
Like, I immediately thought of Cal, obviously, because it's a BD droid, but I wasn't immediately like, oh, they're going to bring him in.
Yeah.
I saw some people that were like, oh, this is like literally, again, this is like Star Wars theory. Like, he's sometimes a little out there, but he was like, Cal's gonna be in the next episode. And I was like, nope. I don't think it means that. I was like, I think it definitely means like, hey, these live action shows, we're bringing everybody to the party. That includes video games. Like, I think that I still think that like Iden Versio, like Shriv, like all those people
make a Force Unleashed canon.
Absolutely.
That'd be cool.
Honestly, I would wholeheartedly, if they're never going back to the Battlefront games, which is, what they say.
I was going to say, I literally just thought, is Sam Witwer Star Killer in Force Unleashed? And he is. Yeah. And I was like, that looks a lot like him.
Yeah. Yeah, and give Sam Witwer some work, because you killed Darth Maul, so he can't come back at this point in the timeline. Yeah. But what was I gonna say? If you're not gonna continue Battlefront with Battlefront 3 or something, give me a freaking Inferno Squad show. Give me a show about Shriv and Iden Versio and stuff. Like, just make a sequel to Battlefront as a show. Why does it have to be a video game? You know what I mean? Like, why they're gonna do another Fallen Order, but maybe not. They're gonna do another Jedi game. They didn't say.
I think they said. What did I don't remember what the word.
They said another installment in the Star Wars Jedi
series
franchise. Series.
Whatever. Yeah.
So they didn't necessarily say Fallen Order. So maybe it won't be Cal. But like I was saying, like, why do I need to catch up with Cal in a video game when give I was a Dominic Moynihan. That's the Hobbit. What is his name? That's the guy that played Cameron Moynihan. Thank you. Yeah. You know, he's done playing the Joker on You know, give him a Jedi series. Like, give Cal a show. That would be so cool. I really think that I really think that either way, we are in a crazy, exciting, awesome time to be a Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
Now, this episode showed us no matter what, these shows can and will do and go anywhere that they can take it. You know what I mean? It's not like it's not like a DC show where you're like, well, you can use Bruce Wayne, but you know, like with Titans, like with Jorah Mormont playing Bruce Wayne. You know, like, well, he could be Bruce Wayne. You can have him in every episode as Bruce Wayne, but you know, he can't be Batman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's none of that. It's, you want to use Luke Skywalker, Dave? Go for it. You know what I mean? Like, right. I love that and it's just like really down to this. I feel like this TV stuff, like they're really getting into the swing of it with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, and I feel like it's only more good things to come.
Yeah. This is the last thing.
Oh, you're good.
Not Star Wars related. How about that rumor of Joker 2 starting production in 2023?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I'm actually kind of surprised because I didn't think they'd be able to get Joaquin Phoenix to do.
I feel like they probably didn't. I feel like there's something going on. I don't know. I feel like it's maybe they're, and I'm not saying that this would be a bad thing. I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe they're doing like more like a Joker anthology thing where it's like maybe they're gonna do, you know, another Joker movie, but it's another iteration of that. You know what I mean? Because really, as good as Joker was, like Arthur Fleck is not an existing thing. You know what I mean? Like, it was just like, this is one way that a guy could become something like this. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe they're just doing that. That would be cool.
And the ending was kind of like, wasn't it like, did that actually happen? Because remember, he's like sitting there and then.
Yeah. Well, I think it was more just like, oh, it could all happen again type thing. But I think it definitely still was open anticipation.
And I don't know, maybe, you know, the rumor is that like Barry Keoghan is Joker and Robert Pattinson's universe, exactly. So maybe that's awesome. Something they go with. I think that's great casting. And again, really people have been fan casting Willem Dafoe. I think that's also like, that's just amazing. All right, well, so much, man. Who would have thought Force Awakens came out however many years ago that we'd be sitting here being like, oh yeah, this Mandalorian show, and we got freaking this Obi-Wan Kenobi show coming, Ahsoka Tano show. Oh God, I can't agree with you more. Great time to be a Star Wars fan. So that will do it for this episode of PFN Live. My name was TJ Cornwall. I've been one of your hosts. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on all our social media channels. Please go view Sean's Boba Fett review, even though you kind of got our review already on the show. On TikTok. Yeah. Keeping up with the TikToks.
And the TikToks are very shareable. We got this guy's Harry Potter rankings up there.
Yes. Harry Potter rankings.
Mine coming soon.
Don't forget about Instagram, Twitter. Trying to post the bigger news and some other small things each day on Twitter to keep everybody up to date on what's been going on. And yeah, that'll do it for me.
Nice. Yeah, and I've been your other host, Sean Monk. Thank you guys for joining us. Next week we probably will be going back to having a topic. We've been floating around with this one topic in particular that we've been wanting to do for a while. We'll probably do it officially next week. It's just this episode. We were going to do it this week, but then this episode was just so big, we wanted to do this. So next week, we're probably going to have an actual topic, and then we will probably do a separate stream to kind of recap this season of Boba Fett, just like we did with Hawkeye. And also, we will probably be doing a Peacemaker, like the end of the series Peacemaker stream. Just like we do with all the big shows and stuff, we cover them throughout the season, and then we usually do a big discussion at the end. So yeah, let us know, and then it's gonna be a while because it's the end of March. But in the end of March, stay tuned because we will be doing the same thing with Moon Knight. We will be covering Moon Knight, and then doing a stream for Moon Knight once it's done. We'd like to do that with all the big shows and stuff. So yeah, that'll do it for me. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, share the TikToks, grow the community, be a part of the community, so that we could just go even onward to bigger and better things. And happy birthday, Jennifer, whatever that means. We'll catch you in the next one.